Today was a major moment for the XRP community, and during the event, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse shared some very direct and confident views about where Ripple is heading in the long term and how XRP fits into that future. There were no vague answers, no dodging tough questions. Instead, he addressed some of the biggest concerns that have followed Ripple for years, especially the ongoing debate around how Ripple actually uses XRP. Hey guys, welcome back to Whiteboard Crypto Update. In today's video, we will talk about XRP. So be sure to stay focused, as you surely don't want to miss out on this. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on post notifications by hitting the bell so you never miss any of our uploads. This video is for educational purposes only. It is not financial advice. Always do your own research before making any investment decisions. For a long time, critics have argued that Ripple talks about XRP as revolutionary technology, but doesn't always push every partner to use it immediately. Some have even claimed that XRP has mainly been used as a funding tool for the company rather than as the core utility asset it was designed to be. At this community event, Brad didn't ignore that criticism. He confronted it directly and explained how Ripple sees XRP, not as a side feature, not as a temporary experiment, but as the central guiding force of the company's long-term mission. Before diving into the deeper strategy discussion, there were a few key updates that stood out. One of the most important points Brad mentioned was about regulatory clarity. He expressed strong optimism that a major crypto regulatory framework, often referred to as the Clarity Act, has a high probability of passing in the near future. He suggested that discussions between industry participants and lawmakers are moving forward again after previous setbacks. According to him, there is renewed momentum, and the environment appears more constructive than before. Why does this matter? Because regulatory clarity has always been one of the biggest missing pieces in crypto adoption, especially for institutions. Large financial firms are not built to operate in gray areas. They need defined rules, compliance pathways, and legal confidence before integrating new technology at scale. Brad's message was simple. Progress is happening, and clarity is closer than many people think. He also talked about how institutional behavior in crypto has evolved. In earlier years, many institutions were primarily focused on speculation, buying digital assets and holding them in hopes of price appreciation. But today, according to Brad, the focus has shifted toward utility. Institutions are increasingly exploring blockchain technology for liquidity management, cross-border payments, and faster settlement. They are not just asking, will this asset go up in price? They are asking, how does this technology improve our operations? This is where XRP comes into the conversation. Brad described XRP as Ripple's North Star. That phrase is important. A North Star is a guiding direction. It represents the long-term destination, even if the journey takes multiple steps to get there. For years, skeptics have asked, if XRP is so important, why doesn't every Ripple partner use it immediately? Why build products that don't directly require XRP on day one? Brad's explanation centered around strategy and trust building. Financial institutions are not crypto-native startups. They are highly regulated entities with legacy systems, risk management departments, compliance teams, and long approval processes. They cannot simply switch their infrastructure overnight. Expecting them to immediately adopt a digital asset without preparation is unrealistic. Ripple recognized this early. Instead of demanding instant adoption, Ripple positioned itself as a bridge not just between currencies, but between two financial worlds, the traditional system and the emerging digital asset ecosystem. Ripple's approach has been to first solve real problems for institutions using familiar frameworks. Once trust is established and operational benefits are proven, deeper integration, including XRP, becomes a natural next step. Think about how companies transitioned into the internet era. Major corporations did not build everything from scratch alone. They partnered with infrastructure providers, consultants, and technology firms to guide them through digital transformation. Ripple is attempting to play a similar role in blockchain finance. The goal is not to force change overnight. The goal is to make adoption structured, secure, and sustainable. Critics sometimes interpret this phase strategy as hesitation. Brad framed it differently. He emphasized that XRP remains central to Ripple's vision. However, long-term adoption requires building relationships first. Trust is not optional in finance, it is foundational. The cryptocurrency industry has experienced periods of instability, failed projects, and regulatory uncertainty. In that environment, institutions naturally move cautiously. Ripple's strategy has been to focus heavily on compliance, long-term partnerships, and steady infrastructure building rather than short-term hype cycles. According to Brad, that deliberate approach is intentional. The company aims to create systems that can operate at global financial scale, not just temporary market excitement. He also spoke confidently about Ripple's long-term potential as a company. In his view, if Ripple continues executing successfully, it has the potential to reach valuations comparable to the largest technology firms in the world. That perspective reflects his belief that blockchain-based financial infrastructure could represent one of the largest technological transformations since the rise of the Internet. From his standpoint, Ripple is positioning itself not just as a crypto company, but as a core financial infrastructure provider for a digital future. If global value transfer evolves toward faster, more efficient blockchain-based settlement, companies that facilitate that shift could grow significantly over time. Now let's address something many people are watching closely: XRP's market price behavior. During periods of regulatory discussion and institutional development, market prices don't always move in a straight line. Short-term volatility is common in emerging technology sectors. Some observers interpret price fluctuations as signs of weakness, while others see them as part of broader market cycles. It's important to approach this rationally. Financial markets are influenced by macroeconomic conditions, liquidity cycles, sentiment, regulatory developments, and global risk appetite. No single announcement guarantees immediate price movement. Long-term adoption stories often unfold gradually rather than overnight. What Brad's comments suggest is that Ripple's leadership remains focused on infrastructure and partnerships rather than daily price movements. If regulatory clarity improves and institutional usage continues expanding, those developments may shape the long-term ecosystem. However, markets operate on their own timelines. The key takeaway from Community Day was not about short-term speculation. It was about strategic direction. Ripple sees XRP as core to its mission. Ripple believes institutional adoption requires trust and structured integration. Ripple is prioritizing compliance and long-term positioning. And Ripple's leadership is confident in the scale of opportunity ahead. Whether someone agrees with every aspect of that vision or not, the strategy is clear. Build bridges first, expand utility gradually, and align with global financial institutions rather than compete recklessly against them. In fast-moving industries, it's easy to focus only on headlines or price charts, but structural change in finance tends to occur step by step. Partnerships, regulatory frameworks, infrastructure upgrades, these are slow processes, but they can lay foundations for lasting impact. XRP Community Day highlighted that Ripple is thinking in decades, not weeks. As always, it's essential for every investor or observer to do their own research, understand risk tolerance, and evaluate developments carefully. Digital assets remain volatile and speculative, but from Ripple's perspective, the mission remains consistent: expand real-world utility for blockchain-based settlement and position XRP as a core component of that system over time. The broader transformation of finance, if it unfolds as some expect, will not happen instantly. It will require regulation, trust, partnerships, and technological evolution. Ripple appears committed to navigating that process methodically. And according to Brad Garlinghouse, XRP remains at the center of that long-term journey. Well, guys, that's all we have for you today. What are your thoughts on XRP? Get involved and let us know in the comments down below. If you guys like this video, then be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Thank you for watching.